Yeah, then from all what we say and do, we have that some kind of very convinced and assertive uh, stance. I think people who don't understand or who don't know what we're doing, they can charge us with dogmatism, because since we are being so assertive, emphatic, we're adamant in our views, and maybe even pontifical in our claims, and we insist, uh, that things are going a certain way, even if others are not seeing. And some people could even say we are overbearing in a kind of way. And you see, the way we look at the world, the way we look at people, what they are doing, they could also point a finger at us too. So others may say it is like we're like saying you either take it or you leave it, and that we think that our own way is the only viable option, and that all other avenues maybe lead to dead ends. So, Duane, what can you say about this charge of dogmatism that could be leveled against us?
Well, again, people have free will, so I don't work. You might say I don't go at that area. That's confrontation. In other words, the confrontation is fine, but at the same time, I look along the lines of what is making sense. Does it make sense for us to try and figure out what we are for others? No, it's all laid out. They have to take the time. That's where they become the risk taker and take the time to look at what we're doing and then to test it. Okay, so again, the written material is reference. That's all it can be, is reference. And it's the real side experiences. And eventually it's the individual that starts to put it together themselves to decide. It's just like a career. If a person's gonna, they're gonna investigate certain ideas or lifestyles that they'd like to perhaps become involved in. And so this is the same thing. This is not going to be for everybody. So people's opinion, just like the government, people have opinion about the government, likes, dislikes, whatever. And the government does what it does, but for the most part, you really can't be concerned about that. You can't just address these issues like that. So you get on with what you're doing. So I see where you create the adventure. You become part of something. You become involved. We've got our own positions that we've created. And at the same time, becoming involved with others in what they're doing also of a particular nature, because we're still on the earth. We're still doing whatever. So it's just like you go to the supermarket and you buy things from the local market. Not everybody grows their own food. So you participate with others, you see. So again, I don't, I don't focus really on what others consider. I do focus on how they see us, you might say, and kind of work it from that angle to where, all right, so they see us a particular way. So, all right, so why don't we do this? We like to homeschool. We start the homeschool because they see us a particular way. We're kind of strange and funny. We talk about other worlds and dreams and, the new you and Rebazar, and these things are really funny to the world. So I create the homeschool, I create the university, worldwide educators, etc. I create these other avenues for them to see that, hey, we're okay. we're in this world too. We're part of the world. We're taking part, and little by little they're seeing it. Joni's corporation, it's just one way, and that is her way. And the government and education and science and whatever, it's just one way, it's their way. But we provide all kinds of options for people to be able to step up and start to learn about the real universes and the true reality, because everybody here is after real freedom. They really are. They want to totally be free of all restrictions, but it's come to the point to where they don't even know if that exists because everything is restrictions. So basically they comply. But it does take a while, because you have to, it's not a matter that, oh, you're just free, you have all the money in the world, you have your car, your house, and everything. That's not freedom, that's creation, all right? You can have whatever you want in creation, but real freedom is a recognition that the individual must figure out for themselves. That's the bigger picture. And see, this is all brand new, because in the past, you've been on a spiritual path or religion where people have told you, others have told you what to do, what life is, etc. And really, it's not even that, but it all sounds good, so you agreed to it. And so as you come into this, you're thinking, well, it's the same thing. I'll just be told what to do, and then everything will be fine. I'll be in my la la land, and etc. But no, this is where you need to figure it out, to recognize it. And actually, that's the best part, because each individual learns to recognize what their real freedom is, and it's really in their real awareness. And at the same time, they can still be in creation, becoming more aware while they still have a body here. So, yeah, and that's a simplified version, but yes, it gets very, very complex and complicated. So again, I see that, the adventure, part of the adventure here is creating something to relate to the world as the world has decided itself. So what the world decides about us, and I've put so many things out there, like I said, the New School, the university, and now all these other talks, they see what we are doing. That's their part to figure that out, Charles. I can't just baby the whole world and go into every situation. That's their part. There are people that are always looking for something wrong, you might say. And so that's just how it is, because, for the most part, this is how the world is. This is how it's grown up, how it's created itself. And this is just what it is right now. So can't figure it all out. But we're doing a whole lot here. So I would say focus on that. I would say focus on it. Again, I've set this up for you. Here's Eric's show. It's for you too. So you can pivot off of that worldwide, you see? So whatever people think about us, again, look at what the government thinks about the people, sees them as slaves. That's what the government is thinking about everybody, because they're demonstrating and doing it. And now what are people thinking about the government? Oh, they're here to help us. They're our friends. Realistically, they don't see the real viewpoint that's going on because they don't want to see that, etc. But they can. There are people that understand that, oh, the government doesn't like us. It's really here to suppress us. Well, that's very real too, because again, do the birds need government? They don't need it. People that, for the most part, people that don't know why they're here and don't know what they're doing need government. They need to be told what to do. So here's the, everybody's looking for freedom again. So here's the chance. Here is the presentation to provide the real knowledge to show people how to become free of all restrictions. Yeah, so that's a real challenge to do that and to figure that out. And at the same time, educate yourself about yourself while you're in creation. So what the world thinks about us, Paul went through the same thing. Everybody does. Rebazar could walk down the street, divinely so, or whatever you would think, but who's going to pay attention? Who cares? There will be people that'll throw rocks at him. That's for sure. And especially those that are in the other so-called spiritual paths. They don't want him around. because they'll disrupt their business. You see, that's why Joni doesn't want us around or whatever. This disrupts her business plan. This is a business world now. It's very interesting, and we're doing business too, in our own way. It's the business of the isness. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So it's not really a business, but it's one that formulates itself according to what people know. You know, we're trying to, you might say, comply with how people see things. So we kind of, you might say, baby them along so they can have a better understanding. But the end result is just like a child, they first start off on a tricycle, and then eventually they learn to ride that bike on their own. The parents aren't there. They're not holding the child. They're not holding the seat and the handlebar to make sure the child's going straight. Eventually, the child can ride the bike on its own, and this is what we're here for. You see, we're not creating a program where people are programmed. It's a course to where people get through it, and they're able to stand on their own, and it's up to them to recognize how to stand real with the whole of life now. That's a choice they must make too. That's a big choice. And most people will go back to their personal life, and they'll just keep reincarnating. So again, it's not a do or die situation. It's that this is how life is, and it's waking up to how it is and figuring out how it really is, and not from all the the distorted ideas that are out there where people think they know what life is. And that's a big challenge for people to really take it on, to really figure out how it is, their environment here, and the environment in creation, and the real environment of the real universes. That's huge. So this is what we do, and we're doing a lot like never before. So this is so cool. There's so many opportunities, and it's for everybody. But you got to step up. You got to become involved. So what the world thinks, they're going to continually do that, whatever they're going to do, Charles. And for the most part, the world doesn't want us here, because the world wants what it wants. So at the same time, while you're here, these few moments that you're here, because each lifetime passes very fast, and especially now with what's going on in this world, and it's on absolute destruct. That's the plan. It's a given. Depopulation, everything. It's all around us. So stepping up and doing something in the meantime, because as let's just say when you pass over, you're going to be aware of what you're aware of. That's it. And we've seen many people pass over, and even though, like that's why I did that Marjorie Klemp thing. She was the great higher initiate, etc. I knew Marjorie personally for many years, and now she's with the reptilians, because again, things weren't as she thought they were, etc. And she had made agreements which she didn't recognize, and so this is what we're doing. We're providing something so the individual can recognize what's really going on here, on the real side, in the real universes, everywhere. This is the best part, not just some sound good ideas that really continually restrict the individual to certain areas to where they don't know where they're at. But it's a big course, and you got to get involved, and it's just a whole lot to make it to that goal line. Got a lot of offense and defense there, a lot of defense there that doesn't want you to get there, and that's people that have belonged to spiritual paths and religions, whatever. The tapliners, the reptilians, they don't want to let people go. They don't like that when you don't obey. So you got to deal with that too, and that shows up on the real side. And then even when you get through that part, you still got to deal with them, because they're still in creation as you're presenting what you are here. So yeah, this is why there's very few here, because to most of the world, this is scary. So they'd rather just have us gone. We're too scary, but we're just very real and wonderful. And so you got to take the time to recognize that and see it. So there's the short end of it, Charles. So go ahead.
Okay, then. I have another you just mentioned here about books. I want to talk about the thinking that a book can guarantee or validate one's real awareness. So it's curious to see how people are firmly convinced that someone must be telling the truth if they swear on let's say the Bible or the Quran or any other holy book. You find ordinary people and pastors or priests whose claim to truth is carrying along their holy book and quoting from it from cover to cover. You find U.S. presidents are supposed to swear on the Bible when taking the oath of office, that their actions will be guided by, in quotes, the fear of God. So I want to narrate, share with us an experience that I had in high school with the most holy book at the time. So I was in a dormitory with six other classmates, and one day a dorm mate's money got missing or stolen, as he claimed, and they used the Bible to catch the thief. Well, I was not there when I just came into the dormitory at the time when this Bible magic was going on, and I was immediately subjected to the tests. So, as life would have it, it spun and then fell at my turn, and everyone asked me to return the money. I was so furious and devastated and ashamed, and I didn't know what to do. So, on second thoughts, I vehemently declared my innocence, and I asked the guy whose money was missing to search well or try to remember where he had kept his money. So everyone in the dormitory took part in this search the guy's space and his locker, and behold, one dormitory mate found the money inside the pillowcase on the bed. So he had hidden his money there and had forgotten just where he had kept it. And you see, no matter that the money was kept somewhere, the Holy Book, the Bible, incriminated me. Those who wanted to use it to catch the thief, they caught me, an innocent person. That was the thief. So, on hindsight, I see that so much disgrace for a holy book. So now, Duane, I wonder if the new books you have written, with the backing of the real guides and the ollies, and these books which are beyond the stuff inside is beyond creation and relativity. So can we use this will be fun. Can we use to swear on them? Can we swear by them? Let's say a journey to real freedom or the real far country. So, what do you say about this? About the fact that people consider that if they refer to a book which is supposedly holy, that or they carry it along or they quote from it means they are somehow truthful, or their truth itself. So what do you think? Is it like high time we start swearing on the new books, Duane?
That's a little bit humorous, Charles. I'm sure that many people swear about the new books or swear at them or whatever. Again, yes, we've had some interesting comments. But no, that's ritualism. You know, the Bible thing, like in the courtroom where you swear to tell the truth. That's very interesting when people do that. So what is the truth? Everybody has their own truth. So no, nowhere do I specify that. These are references, okay? Like a reference book. You get the idea of what's going on. But this is how subtle things are when all of a sudden, see, the world controllers have done this to where people swear on the Bible. So supposedly, they use that as their medium to control others. That's the whole idea. That's all about control. That's it. But it looks like a good thing. It's like, oh, I carry my Bible and this is this and whatever. This is the holy book or what have you. And really, it's a book of tap lining. That's all it is. It's a book of restrictions and tap lining. That's really all it is. But people don't see that because they're emotionally attached. Their emotions blind them. It's like the old saying, love is blind. I was talking about the emotional love that people have, or the sensations that they create, etc. And so, no, I would not refer to any of this stuff so ridiculous. And you see what it's come to where it gets into sacrifices. And many of these religious people, and the church has been caught in whatever, they started all of this stuff. Kidnapping children because they're reptilians, etc. They eat children, they torture them, etc. It all gets to that. It takes a step at a time. And so giving it to the public, they're making it look like something that it's not. They're very good at this. Just like GMO food. It's like, oh, this GMO food will save the world. They know it destroys things, but it's not about saving the world. It's not about feeding the world. It's about control, wanting to control people. And again, like the 5G network coming up, it's not about, oh, you're going to have more information. You're going to be more controlled. You're going to be more harmed. Again, the world is full of marketing ploys. So this Bible idea, along with what I've written, no, even Paul, when Paul wrote things a particular way at the time. He combined so many things and he used the spiritual idea and the God idea because that was the first step. That's all. That was very elementary stuff. And he knew that was just the first part. And so the idea was that if you need some help, open up the book somewhere and read a paragraph or a chapter, and you'll find your answer there. Well, again, all of us are in the same life. Life is everywhere. It's just a recognition. So you can do that with the books, but I don't really refer to that. The books are really my experiences, and at the same time, writing, bringing in the adventure of also life, not only recognizing what life is, but also bringing the adventure in to each person's particular lifestyle. That's the idea of the books. And as a reference, something to, understand until the person can stand on their own. And just like the real guides to where, there's no more of that. You don't need any more of that. You're a free being of real light, and you recognize your real position. So again, that's a heck of a course to go through. But no, in no way would I even consider any of that nonsense, because it's all ritualism. And as soon as people agree to that, as soon as they've agreed to that, they go in the courtroom, they put their hand on the Bible. And I'm not saying not to. If you're in the courtroom, you may have to do it. You may have to play the game, because it's just a game. That's all it is. And so, and seeing it from that, this is where you are conscious of fact and you learn to deal with it. You don't run and hide from it. You confront it, and then you see that it's nothing. You see? Then you're not controlled by it. And most people are afraid to come out of their shells because they think this or that or whatever. Well, that fear holds them when you just simply confront these things, because all of creation is just that. It is something created out of nothing. But at the same time, we need it to pivot from, to eventually recognize the real universes. And so the books that I've written refer to the real universes. When you look at the Bible and other things, they don't. They're just a bunch of rules, regulations, and all these sound good things, which can apply. You can be a better person because of that, but that still doesn't get you 1 inch off the earth. You're still one-dimensional for the most part, and you haven't recognized the real universes, so how are you going to free yourself? So all these ideas about a book and words and what are sacred words and whatever, hey, they're all the same words. Yes, this is where I'm being very honest, and that is, and honorable, and that is, this is just references. I'm just rearranging the words so that people have a reference that makes sense with the whole of life, and so, etc. So again, no, that's all ritualism, and that's specified of a particular to even intimidate people. You have to understand all the lifetimes that all of us have went through. See, right now it's a little more calm today, but still there's wars and killings and kidnappings and whatever. But you have to understand all the lifetimes we've come through where we were persecuted to believe. If we didn't, we were killed, destroyed, our heads chopped off, we were tortured, etc. And so this carries on into future lifetimes to where most people have all this fear and oppression and tyranny and everything else. They carry this with them. So all of a sudden, here they are in the next lifetime because they've forgotten the other one, but they still carry all that with them. And now all of a sudden, they're going to more so comply with the systems because they know somewhere in the back of their mind, you might say, that they've been tortured and killed before, and they don't want to go through it again. And so now comes the challenge with the new presentation. We're showing people how to free themselves, but it's like, oh my gosh, the system will destroy me if I don't agree. Well, yeah, that's a chance you take. We all do. I do too. And that's just how it is here in creation. Or you stay stuck here with the controllers and you keep agreeing to them because of your fear and the tap lining. So, yeah, this is a heck of a challenge to get through. But again, I don't cater to any ritualism. I cater to having a fun adventure and doing something to where you become more aware and self-sufficient, not restricted, and just keep agreeing to the same old system you have for lifetimes. Yeah, but each person is going to decide that for themselves.